Hola, ¿cómo estamos? Aquí estamos con Iconic Tattoo Proyecto número 12. We're not doing Spanish.
¿Qué pasó, compa? Oh,
¿Qué?
you sound like
I didn't know we were doing it in Spanish.
You're like a freaking.
So we're kind of practicing. We're trying to see if we can do it in Spanish, but let's keep it English. All right.
Yeah, I think you're like 40% Spanish.
Yeah, I know.
You suck.
Anyways, welcome back to the IQ Project. Right here, episode 12, I believe, right?
No, we lost count.
Yeah.
Look in the description. It says it.
I'm right here with rickytatt, and today we're interviewing.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's why everybody can hear you. Only can't they hear you? And we're interviewing our media
gotta
manager.
get him a set of headphones.
¿Verdad?
So I got one. Talk.
Oh, you'll make him really happy.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think? Remember, we went to go
Like,
buy everything. We didn't pick up.
What's up, guys?
Anyways, let's get back to this.
Who are we interviewing today, bro?
We're interviewing Carlos, our media manager today.
Also known as Anchored Minds on Instagram, right, bro?
How's everybody doing? Yep.
That's
And
right.
by the way, this video is brought to you by Iconic Tattoo Studio right here in Fontana. We gotta plug ourselves in, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
We also tattoo, just so you know. All
I
right,
didn't know that.
sometimes.
We're not having fun doing podcasts.
But yeah, Carlos, how long have you been with us already?
I think we've been working together since February of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we tried right in the beginning when we started these podcasts. We were like, "Hey, let's interview our media guy," and we did, and everything was going good. And he was just like,
He forgot to push record.
and he forgot to push record. No, I'm just kidding.
He got nervous.
There goes that job, yeah.
So note to self: get an experienced podcaster, filmographer, whatever. No. What happened? Tell us what happened, bro.
So on these cameras, if you're filming, it only gives you a limited time.
Mhm.
So I think his camera's like 30 minutes and mine's 25. So we got into the topic and we were talking and we didn't pay attention to the cameras. So the cameras turned off.
Oh, and how did we find a solution for that?
We hired little
we have
Ricky.
a mirror now.
Well, so if it turns off, we know
So it turns off, we'll know.
Okay, cool. No,
Because
I mean we
see
want
the
to
red
be
light now.
we want to be real, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
Thought you just
learning
put
as
that
we
for
go,
Ricky
man.
So he can watch himself talk.
Yeah,
That too.
and then I could do that talk. Hey. No, but we just want to tell you guys that how it is. This is a journey for us. This is new. We're not experts. We're on episode almost 12 already, I guess. And man, I'm having fun doing these.
Yeah, it's really fun.
What do you think?
No, it's super fun. I look forward to coming on Mondays. This is our day off. This is our only day off.
Yeah.
And we do this. You know what I mean? That means a lot. Or that says a lot.
Yeah, but I think maybe this episode is going to be a lot more value because now we have context. You know, there's been like almost 3 months of getting to know this guy. Where in the beginning it was like
Hiding
really,
wallets.
really,
you know?
curly headed
Who the hell is this guy with long hair? Why do we hire people with long hair, bro?
I don't know, man. It's a thing.
Long hair tattoo artists. If you guys might have a chance,
Yeah.
come over here. We're
I
gonna
actually
be
did see some of your guys' older content,
And
and then you
this-
guys
you
had
saw
a long
Rob?
hair.
We had Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, bandanas
And then
on all
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a
Shout out
little
to
Rob right
Rob.
there.
Rob is art. What's up? All right, man. So yeah, we've been joking around a little bit. Let's get to the nitty gritty of this, man. So you introduce yourself. All right. Tell us a little about yourself, man. Start from the beginning, man. Start from when you were a little kid
Mocoso.
and mocoso and stuff.
Um,
Where'd you grow up at, man? What city?
I'm from Monrovia, California.
Monrovia.
The
All
hood.
right. SGV.
It's a little city
SUV.
right next to Pasadena.
We know it. I got jumped there once. I was kidding.
He's not kidding.
That's for another time. And where'd you go to school at, man?
I went to Monrovia High School as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up there. I spent most of my youth there and became an adult, moved around a little bit.
Cool. And when you were in high school over there, I mean, let's jump to the high school part. You know, like, were you into any type of art, or have you ever been into art?
Yeah, I was an artist at first
Oh, really?
before I started doing the media, and I'm also a college student too right now. So, but art was my first thing.
Yeah. What were you drawing? Painting or sketching?
I was doing everything.
Graffiti.
I was pretty open at graffiti too.
Graffiti?
Yeah, I was doing
What was your
all that.
graffiti name, dog?
I can't disclose that information.
Silox.
Pelo largo.
I didn't have long hair in high school.
You did it?
So,
Oh, no, man.
I can't picture that.
Mine was güero. Wait, why are you laughing? Wait, why are you laughing, bro?
We're saying
Hey, I'm
fucking.
sorry, we're a little lit
He's like,
today.
I'm serious.
It was me. How'd you know? Saw my envelopes?
No, we saw that Get Hard movie with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, and his gangster name was Mayo.
All right. So you like graffiti and everything?
At a young age, I appreciate the art and the culture.
Yeah.
When was the first time you picked up a camera then?
Really young. You know, my dad had those like every dad, you know, they have the
Big video
big
recorders.
video recorders, and I picked up that, and I like to record, and I also did it while I was in high school, filming my friends while we were skateboarding,
Yeah.
and then little by little, I was always around it. Yeah.
Mm.
So what what grabbed you to like, oh, I'm gonna get a camera and record people?
Just a curiosity.
Yeah.
I was a very curious kid growing up, so just the curiosity of being behind a lens and seeing what you could do with that. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Did the editing catch your attention too?
I didn't get into that till I was in high school. You know, like every school, they have the filming classes and stuff like that.
Not every school. Not
Whatever.
as
At my school, they had
It's a good school then.
they had photography and videography. I was always curious, but I never took the classes. And now looking back, I'm like, I should have took those classes.
Yeah.
Because I'm always attracted to those people walking around with a camera, and I was like, what are they doing?
Are you that kind of person that follows a bag, just flying through the wind and recording every little thing?
Very artsy.
It's artsy.
But yeah, definitely editing was a game changer for me because it just opened a different, like, a different way of viewing media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can do so many things if you record certain clips a certain way, and yeah, it's an endless opportunity, endless growth.
So you stuck to it from high school? You've been doing it since?
No, I actually was a DJ for like my senior year.
Oh, sure.
And
Everybody's a DJ.
yeah, I was a DJ for my senior year and got into that for a while, and I was doing the parties and stuff like that, and that's where my audio experience comes from. I learned how to use a lot of audio softwares and programs and stuff. When you're a kid, you have the time of the world, so you get interested and want to do all these different things. And then as far as video, I didn't get into it until like a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a lot easier to get into like video since you already had kind of that audio background, or?
Well, I mean, it was like it's like riding a bike,
Yeah, you just kind of
if you once you know how to ride it, a couple years later you'll still know how to ride it. So I think with video, it was like I've done it before in the past. I was so into like the different motions and stuff like that. Because for skateboard videos, like a lot of people did like the same thing where like they would fade into the sky. So I would always try to do that when I was filming, and then also with editing too, I always made sure that like the song went with the video, and make sure that the clips and the audio sounded like in sync. So
you got bougie with it.
Yeah, and that's actually when I was like younger.
Yeah.
I figured that out by myself. Like I remember like skate videos really, really, really like build who I am as a content creator today, because when on skate videos, like for example, like when the beat drops, like when the bass hits, like that's when the person on the skateboard lands. So at the same time, the bass drops and then the guy lands or the girl lands, and it's like that's how I got that idea of like switching the clips is like from skateboarding videos. And I use that now for everything I do.
Yeah.
So if, for example, like for your guys' content, like once the beat drops or once the bass drops, I'll switch the clip, or I'll go to a different angle. One thing that I've been focusing on working with you guys is getting different angles of you guys. So for example, like the one I'm working on right now is like I'm getting an angle of Josh from the back, and then it flips, and then I'm getting an angle of Josh from like his left side, and then it flips again, and then I get an angle of the tattoo zoomed in. Nice. So like that's what I'm trying to break in now, because it's a learning process now. When it's like you get to a point, and I know as you guys as artists, like you get to a point where you guys like reach a plateau, and you guys are like, man, I want to do more, I want to learn more, and that's kind of I feel like where I'm at, where it's like, okay, what can I do next to change my videos and change the things I do? So
that intro for Ricky you did last time was a big game changer, no?
Which one was it?
Where he was walking inside.
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
So the one we did last week.
Yeah, I want to see that one, man. I want to see myself.
He's gonna repost that one and promote it.
That's gonna be sponsored like a mother.
That's gonna be his Instagram picture now.
Yeah, it's gonna be just me like this. But anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So we see that you telling us that you did it into like a hobby and everything. When did when did it click to say, you know what, I'm gonna make this into a business? I know probably you didn't think about it as being, a content creator at one point when you were when did it happen that you said, you know what, I can make this into a business, such as where you're at right now?
Yeah, this was something maybe about it like 2 years ago that I started viewing it that way. A big part was it was working with my brother-in-law. He owns a landscaping company, and right now a big thing for anybody who owns anything is content creating, social medias, creating media, posting, advertising. Everybody's online. And
everybody's on their phone.
Yeah, everybody's on their phone. Everybody has an Instagram account and Twitter, whatever. And he was doing everything on his own, and I was in a transition of moving out of Orange County, and we were gonna move over here to the Inland Empire. I was in a kind of dead end job where I didn't feel like I was growing or anything, and I ended up working with him for a little bit, and physically working with him, not like just
so cutting grass.
Yeah, I was doing all that because I was just tired of the other job. Like I was talking to other people who were in the same industry and telling me that they made this much money, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't make that much money. I'm like, so I was a lot of frustration was building up working with my last employer, and so then I talked to my brother-in-law, and we talked, and he said, yeah, you could work with me for a little bit, and you could do a little bit of the videos and stuff, and okay, and little by little, which I started progressing. I ended up buying a camera, ended up buying a gimbal, ended up buying like a tripod, a screen. Little by little, I'm like, okay. So then I started reaching out to other people and taking photos of families. Like I did that for a while, where you did the portraits for families, and then I started working for the Cal State that I'm working at now, that I'm going to now, and then I got to work with them, and then I ended up meeting realtors and started working with realtors, and then now I'm in the place where I'm working with small businesses. So a lot of my time is spent talking to people who have ideas and closing deals, and then also working with people who already have closed deals with me.
See, and that's one thing I like about your strategy. You're trying to work with more small businesses, right?
Yeah.
How are you approaching that? Or what made you go to that?
It's difficult to approach because a lot of small businesses don't have the income to contribute into stuff like this. Because a lot of small businesses are still in the midst of like growing and then if somebody comes up and says, hey, I can do photos and videos for your business, they're gonna be like, well, we can do that ourselves. But at the end of the day, the quality, and there's a lot that goes behind it. I'm not just standing with a camera and recording, like just press and record and stand there. Like there's motions, there's editing, there's production, there's pre-production, there's times, we've had to meet a couple of times that like, okay, this is what we kind of want. All right, good. This is what we're going for. Okay, good. And like, it's not just like point and shoot. And I don't know. I think the whole aspect of working with small businesses was something that I just culturally felt was right, because like I've told everybody that I left corporate life. Like I don't want to work for any more corporate big companies anymore, or work with any big companies, because it's like it's the little people that matter, and it's the small things in life that matter too. And anytime I go to a store or something, I always try to buy from small businesses. Like, for example, I just started drinking tons of alkaline water. And, you know, one of the kids asked me, well, why don't you get the big trucks that drive around delivering water? And I'm like, because that's a big company. Like, why do we need to make them richer? What's wrong with paying a couple cents more to a small local business to help support them? I'm okay with that. Like that's not a bother for me. So it's a lot of a connection deal for me, is how I approach that, like knowing that it's not easy.
Yeah.
I think there's a just big opportunity for you right there, because I would argue that people do have the income to invest. They just don't
have
see
the education. I feel like.
they don't know the importance of content right now, because you don't see it right away. You know, brand building, you don't see it in a metric. You don't see it like as soon as you post something, you don't see exactly how it did. You have to assume that it's a buildup. You know.
Yeah,
and so I think that's going to be part of your strategy, man. How to sell it. You know, how to sell it and how to convince them that this is going to benefit you in the long run. Yeah, you know, because I know a couple small businesses that can spend the money we pay you. You know, and they just don't believe in it. You know, and they're gonna believe in it a year from now, 2 years from now, when we're like the busiest shop in Inland Empire. You know, because of all the groundwork we've been doing all together. So it's definitely, I see it as, man, you're just gonna grow from that, and we're excited to see you grow as far as in helping us too. You know, that's good, man. Small businesses, you know. Shout out to all the small businesses out there in the Inland Empire. You know, if you want to be in our podcast, let us know. What else questions can we ask this guy? Also, let's talk to him about how you came across Iconic, man. You want to tell him the story, or from your perspective? Because I can talk forever.
How did it happen?
It was through
Jose. So I was at a job with my brother-in-law, and what he tends to do is like before and after videos. So I go to projects before they start, while they're on the project, and then after.
You meant like the projects.
No.
A project, filming project. No, not a filming project.
Or a landscape project.
Okay.
So we do a lot of those kind of videos and photos, and that's what we have come to an agreement towards. And I was at a project that he usually was at, because it was a bigger project, and he wasn't there. And so then I gave him a call, and I'm like, hey, where are you at, dude? I'm like, I didn't see you at the job site. And, I'm getting a tattoo. And I was like, getting a tattoo? And this is not like, this is not like him, because usually
that was his first time.
We're pretty close, so we disclose everything to each other quite often. Like we're pretty tight. And I'm like, that's kind of random. And I'm like, you're joking? He's like, nah, I'm serious. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. And then I was like, where at? He's like, oh, over here by your house. I'm like, by my house? It's like, yeah, I think it's in Fontana. And I was like, shit, dude. I'm like, you should have told me to come with you so we could record that. And, oh, yeah, it's a good idea, huh? And then he's like, let me ask. And then he's like, I think he mutes me, and then comes back. Oh, yeah, they're cool with it. Like, yeah, they're down. I was like, all right. All right, so I'm like, all right, great. So then good thing I already had everything on me. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go straight there. And I just remember getting here, and you were tattooing him, and Josh was working with another client, I think. Okay. And then I mean, right away I think we clicked.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing, because around that time we were debating we were actually looking for somebody that can be more stable at filming us, because we've tried a couple of camera guys, right? Yeah. Media guys, I guess we call it. And they worked out for a little bit, but it wasn't exactly what we wanted at the time. You know, their availability was different, and their approach. Some of them had good equipment, but just sometimes it wasn't a click. So While I was tattooing him, Josh had a conversation with him, right? You want to tell him?
Yeah. Just took him outside. I'd be like,
Hey,
so, nah.
hey, check this out.
So let's go putazos.
Want to make feria, fool, you know? Like, bring your shit, eh? Every Monday.
Nah, I was, because me and Ricky had just finished talking about this.
Yeah, it wasn't fresh in our mind.
The night before. And I think.
Oh, really? The night before?
Yeah, we had just talked about the night before.
Yeah.
And
we were talking about wanting to build more content.
Yeah, build more content, and we're going to each look up like 3 different videographers.
Yeah.
And then just put them on the table and see which one we like better. I was like, I'm gonna start with this guy.
No, yeah, because we could do the editing. You know, we know Procreate. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, you guys are creatives yourself.
Procreate,
like you guys are artists. You guys can adapt to things like that pretty quick.
It's just we didn't have the time for it.
No, like we know how to do it. We know how to go through the editing process. It's just we're getting busy tattooing, so we realized we can't do every aspect of this. So yeah, it was gonna take some time, right?
Yeah, so I went outside. I was taking a break, and then you were taking a break too.
Yeah,
recording. So I was just like, we just started talking.
Oh, well, we started talking about the tattoo I wanted.
Yeah, I think I was trying to sell him first. Like, hey, so
like tattoos?
Yeah. So, what's your leg? Oh, something?
Now, and I don't know. We just agreed that you're gonna come in next week, right?
It just happened. He wanted a tattoo. It seemed like it was a perfect trade for his talents as far as yours. It worked. You know, it was meant to be. You know, that's basically what it is. We were in the looking for somebody, and he was looking to challenge himself in something else, right? Because you've never filmed a tattoo shot, much less a tattoo getting done, right?
That was something that was in my mind because on Instagram you see the feeds, you know, people tattooing and pictures, and also I followed Swollen on YouTube a while back ago when I was more into fine arts. So they did like those artist spotlights where some of the artists were fine arts and tattoo artists. And I was like, oh, that's something cool to get into. So I always had like an idea of like, this is something I would like to work with.
Yeah.
The industry.
Yeah. And I think the tattoo industry supports a lot of that media because we're very visual, you know, that's how we get our work done. So
needs it right now too.
It's one of the biggest ones that does the filming, to be honest. But I don't know why people don't take advantage of it and do more YouTube like blogs, you know?
Yeah.
And it just seems like that was a niche we had to get in, especially here in the Inland Empire. Yeah, so you guys agreed, you did the tattoo on him. It was a pretty badass tattoo.
Yeah, it was a tattoo for just a trial. Well, I think it was like a month trial.
A month,
yeah. So we could see how he would record
if we
and
clicked,
everything.
And
if we clicked. And it worked out. We went from there. We sat down. We set up basically how we were gonna work, and he agreed to it, and then that's where we're at now.
Yeah, so we're like what, 3 months in?
3 months in, man. 3 months dealing with each other.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
It's a lot of yelling back and forth, huh?
All that hairspray he comes with all the time, you know.
No, this is all natural, dude. You're tripping.
Oh, really?
You got more hair gel than I do, dude.
I do. Keep it slick.
Just got a haircut.
Keep it 1998, bro.
I think we're all like-minded people. We all like art.
Yeah, we're kind of find out. We didn't know you liked the art till you got in. That's cool. And,
business. I feel like we all learn from each other. Same thing as like with every artist we have in here. Like we're learning from everyone else. I think, and then you click with everyone here. It's just if everything, all the pieces fit perfectly, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's working so far, and I hope it works for a long time. You know,
for a longer time, yeah, and we all grow. You know, especially that. So, give us your perspective, man. You never really, you said you never filmed a tattoo, much less being in a tattoo environment. So we started Shop Life with you. You know, we're on like episode 8 or 9, right? 8. We just uploaded 8.
Yeah. But we got more.
What's your perspective on now for seeing it from the outside angle? Because we're in the trenches every day. We don't really see the nuances. Give us
trenches.
That's what it is, bro. It's a battle. Hey, you know what? That's just what I said, okay?
I like it. I wasn't talking shit.
You guys were talking shit to you. I'm always...
No, it was catchy. You used the word at a perfect Yeah. Perfect time.
No, because I don't know who I heard it from. You know, when you're in the trenches, you're grinding. You don't really see the whole picture.
Yeah.
Right. So
no, and I think how do I put that? Yeah, it was a different experience to what I was normally adjusted to. Working with tattoo artists is very different because you guys have your times where you're in the zone and you're working, and then you guys have your times where you are willing to talk and be open.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking around.
We just can't be on at all times. You notice that, right?
So I'm at a place now where, like, I know when to come up to you guys. Or when not to.
So when Ricky's lining, don't go up to him.
Yeah, don't bother me. Don't bother me because if I'm doing a line, just don't come to me because I don't believe it. No lines for realism, guys. Remember that. I did some yesterday. No, yeah, that's true. Sometimes
I grasped from a lot of like tattooing videos I saw like on YouTube and Instagram. I did some research and that's where I started to find my own niche for that, was eventually kind of showcasing what we have now.
Yeah. So what's been one of the stressors for you working in the tattoo industry? You know what I mean? Being in the shop.
It's one of the hardest parts.
Yeah. It's a different environment, like you said. So why or how?
Dealing with me?
That's one for sure.
He's got a lot of suggestions.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking, guys.
I think just getting to know you guys. Yeah. I think that's the most difficult part. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to try to find my angle on how to get you doing your work. Mm-hmm. Getting you familiarized with everybody here is probably one of the most difficult parts, because everybody has a different characteristics and personalities from each other. So
what about trying to find the story for the blog?
I think that just happened naturally.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah. I really don't like, especially with the vlog, I don't even think there should be a storyline, because then I mean,
it's not a storyline, but like for some reason there's always
for like the topic. Editing.
Yeah, like how are you able to like just go through your?
So I always go based off of like, I usually get here when you guys are about to start. Mm-hmm. So I always go up to each artist and ask, "So what are you working on today?" Mm-hmm. And I know you guys hear that a lot.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's
so
a good starter.
I always go, "What are you working on today?" And I go from there. Okay. So then if you guys want to crack jokes in the middle, or if I don't know, whatever, I just throw it in there. And then I always at the end, I add your guys' finished product.
Cool.
Yeah.
What I see, man, is that you're able to just blend in, you know? You have that energy where you can warm up to somebody really quick, especially our clients, because you got to think about it. Nobody, for the majority of people, we're not used to having a lens in front of us, you know? So once that camera gets real close to us, and then I'm doing them crispy line, one of the few crispy lines that I do, you know, you get sidetracked and you're realizing that camera's there. So it's a learning experience on the artist part. So it helps that you're very like talkative too, but more the energy. You feel the energy. You're not just right there in front. Yeah. And then be like, hey, tell us about what you're doing right now. Because like,
I'm not invasive.
You know? Invasive, yeah. It's very subtle, like a subtleness.
As a human being, I tend to feed off of everybody's energy. So if I come in and you guys are all just dialed in and working, I'm not gonna come in and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys? Camera guys here. Let's start recording." Like, nah.
I want you to come in one day like that, bro. I'll be like,
so I come in and like, for example, I think it was last week. You guys were kind of all dialed in, and I just started taking pictures. I was like, "You guys are all starting and going, like." Yeah. I'm just going to take some pictures.
It's usually in the middle when we're like able to just relax a little bit.
No, yeah, I usually wait till one of you is done because I know you guys take breaks every couple hours. So as soon as I see somebody get up or all right, let's take a break. Let me go get the mic real quick and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're artists, so you're filming artists, and we're doing a permanent, you know, tattoo on somebody, so sometimes we need to be dialed in.
Going down from Ricky's head foreground.
Yeah, right.
Should.
You know, so it's definitely an experience. That's I don't sweat, man.
Intensity.
I don't sweat. It was a
with that one line.
He's got those shots where where the sweat doesn't come out.
Yeah, we have to like powder.
That one line stressed him out. Like,
like. What else? What else can we ask the man here? All right, man. So you know you're working with us as a tattoo studio. First, tell us why you call your business Anchored Minds. Tell us a little bit about that. I know it's your Instagram name. Tell us a little about that, and we'll ask you a couple more questions.
I always had the name Anchored Mind.
That says graffiti name.
No.
Figured it out. That's a long one, bro. Have to make it quick.
Yeah, it was fast. No, if you're in a graffiti name, you know that you should only have a 4-letter.
Mine was Tense.
Name.
Tenz.
Tense.
No que güero.
No, that was my
that was a street name.
That was my street name. But the tagging name was Tense.
Tense.
What was yours, tense. Josh?
Shade.
Shade? Ah, they're at full circle now. Huh? So tell us, man, why Anchored Mind? What's the thought process
originally, when I bought my first camera as an adult, I was like, I'm gonna call myself Anchored Mind Photography. And honestly, the name sounded catchy, and I was like, this is a pretty cool name. And then I started finding reasons on how to define it later on once I found the name. And a lot of it just has to do with having an anchored mindset. You know, having a mindset that's down to the earth. I'm very like earthy and like to be in a meditative state as a human being. So being anchored. So being anchored.
I was gonna say, are you in a meditative state right now?
So a lot of it has to do with being present.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Because you know, as human beings, we have all these different freaking distractions nowadays, and it's hard to actually be present.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that right now with concerts. Everyone just goes to concerts on their phone, recording the whole thing.
Yeah.
Instead of enjoying the moment.
In general, anywhere you go, now people are like this all day.
Yeah.
And as you're waiting in line, people are like that. Like, so I've even created like a rule for myself. If I'm in line, I'm not going to be on my phone.
And what do you do?
What do you do?
I just contemplate with my thoughts.
Like
dude.
this, like
I do what people used to do back then in the 90s and the 80s and
you comb your hair or something.
so
it's actually a little mustache comb.
Like, ooh, okay, wait till they ask me a question.
So the name definitely comes from being anchored and being in the present moment.
Yeah, and I get that, man. As soon as I heard your name, I was like, I get it. You're very grounded, spiritual. That's dope, and we definitely get that, and we really like the name. It's cool, you know. So tell us a little bit about your business, like aside from filming us, you know.
So
filming Joe Shade. What
I do is I work with small businesses. I also work with realtors.
So you do
and
real
also
estate.
and I also work with families doing like portraits and stuff. I've been trying to get into the wedding game.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I heard that shit's hard.
I heard it's hard too, but
stressful.
there's a lot of payback.
I would divert from that. I would focus on more small business, man.
See, that's what thing I'm in a place now where it's like, okay, what's next?
Oh,
Okay.
So I want to get to a point where the next 3 months I'm working on other projects now.
So you want to dip into a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Just try out everything, see what else.
Because I tried the whole like family portraits thing and stuff like that, and that's not my niche.
Yeah.
I did that for a couple of months.
Wait till you get to a bridezilla. And you're going to be like, stay grounded. Bring that anchor. Bring that anchor a little bit more.
Oh, Jesus, help me not stop
But
this
in
bitch.
the future, though, I want to do documentaries.
That's all. Remember we were talking about? Let's do
Yeah.
a documentary for tattooing. That's coming soon, man.
Like, my ultimate goal in the next 20 years,
Yeah.
I want to be a documentary filmmaker.
You want to work for Netflix, huh?
No.
Yeah.
I want to make my own documentaries and post them on YouTube.
That's dope.
You don't need a big production company like that
So,
now.
iconic documentaries coming soon.
Yeah, who knows? You guys can be my first. Actually, my fiance, she's in a PhD program, and she's already pitched the idea of doing a documentary with her and how it's like being a first generation PhD student.
The struggles.
Yeah.
Just going there. Oh, hell yeah.
Damn.
That'd
To
be
reach
dope.
PhD, it's a lot of schooling, a lot of dedication.
I didn't want to go to my master's.
So yeah, man. So guys, this is our media specialist here. Not only does he do media, he does strategies with us. And if you guys are out there and watching this, and you wanna pursue this type of industry, this type of profession, let's ask the man right here. What tips would you give a young artist or a young person that says, you know what, I like what I see on YouTube. I want to be behind the scenes of this. Give us some tips, man. Give us like 3 tips that you would want to tell those young guys that are just grab the camera right now from Best Buy and they want to start filming. What would you give them?
3 tips.
If you have more, tell them.
Stay dedicated.
Dedication?
Dedication is a big thing because a lot of people are going to close the doors on you. Number 2 is don't worry about people who are ahead of you, because at one point they were in the same position as you. And then number 3,
I'll write these down. These were good for me.
it's not about the camera.
It's not about the equipment, right?
It's not about the equipment. And as artists, you should know too, it's not really, sometimes it might be about the
It's not
machine,
solely about the
but it's
equipment.
It's not about that.
It's the
It's not
talent you
about the
bring,
equipment. It's talent, the
Yeah.
connection, the passion.
the overall. It's you, really.
Yeah.
It's pretty you conveying it through a lens, you know? Through
Like,
a
for example, I don't have a mainstream camera. Everybody buys Sony, Canon, Nikon. That's what everybody has.
what do you have?
I have a Fujifilm.
Fujifilm?
And that's taught me that it's not about the camera. It's
Right.
not about the equipment. It's about how you project your idea. So, yeah, and then don't compare yourself with somebody who's 20 years plus experience, because I think as creatives, a lot of ourselves put ourselves down because how come this guy makes these like 6 shots and makes all these cool videos and stuff like that, and I can't even do that. Well, I mean, if you really put it down to the nitty gritty, this guy's been doing it for 20 years.
Makes it look easy.
Yeah.
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience is a big
that comes
thing.
with tattooing as well. You know, you got to be dedicated. There's going to be times where, which I remember, I mean, I'm going on 13 years where I wanted to quit because I couldn't do what I can do on paper.
Yeah.
And I wanted to quit. I mean, you probably had that going through. We all have those.
Last week.
Everybody
Those
goes through that.
peaks.
Yeah, everybody. That's if somebody said that they've never experienced that, that's fucking bullshit. Because
No, everybody has
everybody
struggles.
has that moment in their life where they're like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah. Like, I give up. What's the point of this? You know,
I
it's
mean,
not happening
I've
for
had-
me.
And even as business owners, I'm sure you guys have had that experience of like, "Why the fuck are we doing this?"
Just open a private studio. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, for me, I haven't had that issue with that, but more of the tattooing side. Business side, I love it. I love the ups and downs. I want it to be down so I could,
Josh,
like, you know.
He carries me sometimes.
That's why we're a team here. Okay, let's just not go there. We're talking about you today. That can be another time, another topic. But yeah, you're right. Patience, dedication is not about the equipment; it's about your talent. and don't worry about the rest, because you can quickly get this like
yeah, we get
discouraged
sidetracked
or discouraged, right?
Oh
If you see
yeah,
somebody
because
that's
like if you
doing
spend your
it.
time on the phone, like when I first started, I was watching all kinds of videos. I was like super attached to just like what's the next video, what's the next video, what's the next video.
For our industry or just in general?
For videographers, for
Got it.
content creators.
Mhm.
And then I started doing my own thing. And I was like, my stuff's not the same.
Mm.
So then I would downplay myself. Like, well, your stuff is not that good. So now I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm not even watching these videos anymore. I'm like, unless I'm trying to learn something or gravitate towards a different industry, then I'll get synced into like watching videos about that. But that's a big thing that don't get consumed, because you're gonna constantly compare yourself to somebody else. And I'm pretty sure as tattoo artists, like somebody that has more experience and more years than you, and you're watching their stuff all day, you're like, man, how come my shit don't look like that?
Filters.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So
No,
for
I get
me,
it.
that's a big thing where I've realized like disconnected that. Like focus on my art and where I want to take it.
Would you recommend that young person talking about, right? Whether it's a girl or boy, man or woman, whatever. They do a apprenticeship with somebody. What do you recommend? Because sometimes with tattooing, like we started, me and Josh started without an apprenticeship, but you know, all that kind of stuff. We're learning behind somebody.
Yeah, I started the same way.
Do you recommend just grabbing the camera and start learning, start filming?
Yeah,
right?
dude.
But I feel like maybe
I think that's all BS. I think it's more of a traditional thing, because I jumped into the water with both feet, and I learned how to swim on the way there.
Yeah.
I feel like that is more of a tradition and culture that's slowly dying.
Yeah, because the speed is faster now.
Especially now with social medias and YouTube. Like,
yeah,
you don't need to go into a shop or, hey, can I tattoo for your shop? Like no, now you can go on Amazon and buy a whole machine and start on your own, and go on YouTube and look up how to do shading.
I mean, but what I was saying is more like, would you recommend them to search a mentor towards that, so that he can get some shortcuts?
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all can grab a machine. I have people but you cannot jump different levels without some type of experience and mentorship. You know,
there's a couple of content creators that I admire.
You want to name a couple?
There's one big one that I avoided for a while because
D-Rock?
He was very popular, and eventually I caved in. His name is Peter McKinnon.
Okay, not familiar. You know,
he's a straight YouTuber guy, and he really proclaims himself that way. He's like, I'm just a YouTuber, but his way of expressing things through his videos is like different, and it's a reason why he is who he is today. Like, he's got his own backpack for content creators now, like to that point where like all these kinds of content creators admire him, right? So he's an
icon in the photography, kind of, you know what I mean? Because he's been doing it so long, people admire him. Now he can just, you know, he probably can make his own camera now, you know, and sell it.
He's actually sponsored by a company,
you know. So I think when you get to that level, you can do that kind of stuff and brand yourself with different stuff, and that's all good, you know.
Yeah, I've been actually thinking about starting my own YouTube channel.
What?
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
I've been dabbling with that for a while.
We got some what do you call it? Some headline news here. Some what do you call that term? When it's
headline, like, yeah, that's it. Breaking news.
Like, breaking news. There we go.
YouTube channel, I've been slowly figuring out how I'm gonna do it. What's my angle and what I'm trying to go for.
Do it, bro.
Right now I'm a full-time student, so summer break is less than a month away. I have 1 year left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 more semesters after
So in a
this.
year from now, it's on and cracking, huh?
On and cracking.
It's on and cracking.
It's gonna
Cool,
go by
man.
fast.
That's all. Thanks for the tips, man. I hope all these tips for if somebody's watching and it likes photography, filming, content creator. If you guys like that, hopefully
like
this
recording Ricky.
or like recording me. Hopefully we brought value to you guys.
I've realized that Ricky likes the camera, so
Yeah.
I like the camera.
No, he hasn't stopped looking at that video.
Which one? Oh, I can't wait till I'm like walking with that sound. It's like boom. No, but we appreciate it, man. Thank you. You want to end this podcast really quick, Joe Shade?
Yeah, I mean, like Ricky said, thank you. Hopefully this is a long relationship with you and your company. But
likewise.
other than that, thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe.
Subscribe, guys. We're gonna be interviewing more people.
If you guys have any more comments on or any interest on what we should be talking about, we're always thinking of ideas of what to bring as well and who to interview. Just let us know in the comments. But thank you, and we'll see you next week.
We out.
See ya.
Yeah.